From relief to rebuilding, a critical point in the aftermath of the Woolsey fire, the step forward for survivors.
A 19-year presidential reign comes to a close. Meet the man set to usher in a new era for Pepperdine University.
Cue the pomps and circumstance, what the class of 2019 has done and what's in store for them.
New beginnings, live from main campus, this is the special edition of NewsWaves 32.
News, weather, and sports. Live from Malibu, this is NewsWaves 32.
Welcome to this special edition of NewsWaves 32. We are coming at you live on main campus at Pepperdine University as we look at the new beginnings in the Malibu and Pepperdine communities. Good evening, I'm Emily Tencer.
And I'm Araceli, Crescencio. It's a fresh start for Malibu as the city finally starts to rebuild after the Woolsey fire. We begin our coverage with NewsWaves 32 reporter Lily Spiritos with an update as the city reaches a new stage in the rebuilding process. Lily, welcome to our first ever live show here from main campus.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad the weather's nice, especially compared to a couple weeks ago when it was raining here.
And it's so beautiful. The hills and mountains are so green. You would have had no idea that just a few months ago they were completely black from the fire.
Yes, and while nature has recovered, people who were affected by the fire are still in the rebuilding process. It is hard to believe it. Almost 5 months after the devastating Woolsey fire, progress has been made with 50 fire rebuilds approved by Malibu's planning department. While debris continues to be removed, a vast amount has already been cleared, meaning Malibu is well on its way on the road to recovery.
The City of Malibu has approved 21 permits for temporary housing and 56 rebuild design plans are being reviewed. A total of 149 building permits have been issued as well. Residents affected get to choose from several different building options.
There's several different rebuild options that homeowners can choose. The first of which being a planning verification to put your home back like for like. The next being to expand your residence by 10% additional square footage. The next being an administrative review that allows you to incorporate some discretionary requests into your application. And the following being a coastal development permit application to completely do a new design and redesign of your home.
Malibu City Council's Fire Rebuild Desk receives about 20 consultations a day, and redesign meetings are continuously being held. Most people are choosing the plus 10% option, since residents can add more to what they lost, and it's quicker than a complete redesign and expansion. Property debris can be removed either through CalRecycle or a local debris removal program processed through the City of Los Angeles. If people would like to know how to proceed with the building process, please visit the Malibu Rebuilds page at malibucity.org.
Thank you for that update, Lily. And now we're joined by Malibu's two newest city council members, Mikey Pearson and Karen Farrer. Mikey and Karen were elected only 2 days before the Woolsey fire erupted and changed everything. It surely wasn't what either of you had expected for your new roles with the city. How has that been?
It's been exciting. Certainly it's not what we thought was coming, but I don't think we were that surprised. We live in a fire zone, but it's been a lot of work, but also gives us a great chance to really try and make a positive difference.
Yeah. Disaster response was a theme during the campaign. We were asked about it a lot. We didn't realize it was going to be this soon. We've always known Malibu is fire prone. I've lived here for over 40 years. Mikey's lived here his whole life. We've both been through many fires. We just didn't know it was going to be right after the election.
Yeah, definitely a lot of overcoming you both had to do. And we just saw Lily's report on the rebuilding process. You are both our co-chairs of the city's disaster response and ad hoc committees created to address the rebuild after the fire. What has the city done right to help rebuild and help residents rebuild? And what has the city learned to do better?
Well, it's a learning process. It's still going on. The city has definitely ramped up communications, high tech and low tech, everything from adding an additional website specifically dedicated toward rebuilds. There's also, of course, rebuild information on the regular city website. Everything from full-page ads in the local newspapers to postcards mailed to people's homes or post office boxes. The sign down at the corner of Webway and Pacific Coast Highway. The city has tried to communicate in every way possible, high-tech, low-tech, and really get information out to people regarding debris clearance, permitting, rebuilding, resiliency. There have been a lot of workshops. We've had our ad hoc meetings, and that's all continuing.
And I think the other big challenge is streamlining the rebuilding process. It's very difficult to build in Malibu, and as a longtime planning commissioner, I've seen that up close and personal. So getting people back in their homes quickly, it's been a challenge. It's underway. It's going pretty well. We're ironing out little things as we go, but just trying to get people back in their homes.
And Mikey, you got emotional at last Monday's meeting when you talked about the wildfire in particular that you saw while fighting the fire, the innocent of the innocent in your own words. What can be done to help them?
That's a great question. Certainly fighting the fire was painful, and seeing what happens to wildlife and some domestic animals too that were left behind. I would like to bring forward, I don't know if we can codify it, but I'd like to bring forward other ways that we're better prepared next time we have a fire like this, because animals left behind and wildlife, you know, it's the last thing that should suffer in this.
Yeah. And you were both on the front lines in fighting the fire. How has it changed you and the city?
Well,
we're working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Karen.
There's the great news is we had a meeting today with a local architect, someone who was born and raised here. He teaches at USC School of Architecture. We have a lot of people in the community and contacting us from outside who want to help, who want to get involved, who have been involved, and we are just drawing on those resources, every aspect of it. And I'm actually happy to say we have not been bombarded with people that I perceive as just in it for the money. People who want to help the community recover and rebuild and move forward stronger and more resilient.
Yeah, and for myself, fighting the fire gave me sort of insight on what we can do better from that aspect. My neighborhood, we're trying to be sort of a model to roll out to other neighborhoods of a volunteer fire brigade, so what equipment we have. But we've also learned, Karen and I have learned a great deal, that most of the homes that burned in Malibu burned because of embers, not because of flames. So that's something that needs to be addressed immediately. So by being there and looking at my own videos of filming during the fire, I now see that flames is one issue, but really it's those flying embers that burned the vast majority of homes down.
So it's definitely been a long process, but we are looking forward to the new season of beginnings. Thank you so much for joining us, Mikey and Karen, and we wish you luck on everything that's soon to come.
Thank you.
Finding a place to vape and smoke marijuana in Malibu just became harder. Last week, the LA County Board of Supervisors expanded an existing ban on smoking at beaches, parks, and outside government buildings to include e-cigarettes and pot. Beaches in Malibu, including Point Dume, are included in the 25 miles of county beaches where both vaping and smoking are no longer allowed. These new rules are along the county's first major policy changes on marijuana since the drug was legalized for adults in the state in 2016.
From Whole Foods to so much more, major changes coming to downtown Malibu.
New businesses are moving into the center of town. NewsWaves 32 reporter Jenna Gardner is here with what stores we can soon expect to see. Jenna, welcome.
Hello guys. Yeah, Malibu Country Mart got a lot busier, especially over this past weekend as the weather warmed up and as all these new stores are planning on opening.
Yeah, parking this weekend was terrible, and I just can't even imagine in a few weeks from now, as these stores are opening up, how even worse it's going to get to find a spot there.
And people are excited to see like the new stores that they want to go to with the whole new shopping center that's opening, so it should be really interesting to see what happens there. But it's been a long process for the development of downtown Malibu. So far, the shopping center near Whole Foods is about 90% leased.
Malibu Country Mart is going through some changes leading into the summer season. Fred Siegel, a retail store focused on clothing and accessories, found its start in Malibu in 1975. Now, decades later, it has returned to its roots for the Malibu community.
So it's all about coming home for us. So we just figured it was where we started, and it was a great place to come back to.
While their store is up and running, they will be holding a grand opening on April 6th from 1 to 5 p.m. Free People will be joining the Country Mart as well. Owned by the same company, Urban Outfitters downsized in order to make room for the new store.
Everyone comes in and is like, what happened? What's happening? And now that they have the sign up front, now people know. But I'm excited for it. I don't have to drive to Santa Monica.
The opening was delayed until August or September due to construction. One of the biggest projects facing the Country Mart is the new shopping center containing Whole Foods. But the many years of planning and construction are coming close to an end. While the finishing touches continue, the stores are planned to open in June.
We got Whole Foods, which is opening up, which I'm personally excited for because I love to get all my organic eats in for lunch, you know what I mean? Because there's not really many options over here as far as like lunchtime food. And a lot of the other owners around here, they'll come and talk to the owners of my store and they don't really seem happy about it. But personally, I think it's cool. I think it'll bring more people out.
And many residents are excited for the new opportunities that the Country Mart has to offer.
Yeah, I definitely think it's nice to just have a different variety of things or brand names that are sort of well known versus these stores that I don't really know much about, so I think the familiarity will increase the amount of visitors.
Be on the lookout for these expansions in Malibu as summer approaches.
Yeah, so this morning I heard that they announced Whole Foods in Malibu will be having decreased prices, which will be very helpful for us students who are on a budget, I'm sure, but that's definitely something that will draw people towards coming to them.
Definitely, and I know people were freaking out about Ralph's being completely rearranged, but Ralph's was doing that to get in more healthy products so that they can meet up to Whole Foods and be the competitive grocery
They've
store.
got to step up their game, you know, Whole Foods is going to be popular, I think.
It's a shame we're going to get to miss it as seniors, but excited
I know.
For the new people to get to enjoy it.
It'll be good.
Thanks, Jenna.
Of course.
After months of extreme conditions, California's natural landscape is springing to life.
From whales in the coast and poppies in the hills, take a look at why spring is the season of change. A magical spectacle in Southern California. Millions of butterflies are flying the skies, flowers are blooming intensely, and the gray whales are starting their annual migration. This spring is unlike any Californians have ever seen.
Blue lupins that are growing along the fire burn areas are a natural native plant that we only see after a fire.
Everywhere they look, people are noticing the bloom.
It's like Willy Wonka land right now. There isn't anything around that doesn't have a bloom on it.
And it's not just flowers flourishing.
Butterflies were coming in from the desert and then flying up the coast to go farther north.
Gray whales have begun their trek too.
They were down in Baja to have their babies, and now they're swimming back to Alaska where they're going to feed all summer.
You don't have to be an expert to witness this season of change.
I don't know specifically about the whales and their migratory thing, but they do go backwards and forwards, and I guess the one on the beach is the evidence of that.
Unfortunately, not all will make it to their destination.
Whales were on the endangered species list, and they have recovered to the point where they are not on the endangered species list. But then that means there's more of them. That means we'll see them more in the wild, but we'll also see more problems.
The golden fields in the Golden State have attracted massive crowds, threatening their survival.
If you want to go and see the flowers, then be respectful.
Martin says in this time of rebirth, being respectful of nature is one way to keep hope alive.
One of the things about spring is that it's full of promise, and a lot of animals are getting ready to have their babies and reproduce, and that's just a real time of hope.
Yeah, so it's a lot of changes, especially here in our own backyard. We can see the flowers blooming around Point Doom. It's nice that as we graduate, this is our goodbye.
Yeah, it's so beautiful driving down PCH and all the mountains are just covered with flowers. But also, as she talked about the butterflies, I'm driving down PCH and I'm hitting all these beautiful butterflies because they're all migrating here.
Yeah,
but it's
so hard to avoid them.
New beginnings here at Pepperdine. Out with the old and in with the new.
Up next, how Pepperdine's President-elect Jim Gash is preparing for his new leadership role. We'll be back.
Welcome back. A new chapter of Pepperdine history will soon be written as Jim Gash succeeds Andrew K. Benton as Pepperdine's 8th president.
NewsWaves 32 reporter John Michael Ross sat down with Gash to talk about his new position in the presidential role.
Yeah, it was awesome how he got to free up his busy schedule to sit down with me because he's traveling all over right now. But with big shoes to fill as President Benton steps out, President-elect Jim Gash is humbled, excited, and ready for the position of president.
I'm proud and excited to introduce to you the next president of Pepperdine University, James A. Gash.
On On February 14th, Pepperdine University announced that the university had selected a new president-elect. The Board of Regents decided that Jim Gash would be the 8th president of Pepperdine. He will succeed Andy Benton, who served 19 years at the position, doing a good job, according to students. Here at the Brock House, President Benton will soon be moving out, and President-elect Jim Gash soon moving in.
He has created a huge set of shoes to fill, and I am eager to put my little feet right now into those big shoes and start to learn how to run in them.
Sitting down with the president-elect, I asked him what his reaction was when he heard the news he was elected, and also if he had something to say to Pepperdine students.
I came up to the law school and spent some time on my knees with a good friend, the chief of staff, vice president, chief of staff, Danny DeWalt. We just kind of got on our knees and prayed together. Just, okay, Lord, if this is what you have for us, then this is where we're going to start now, and this is where we're going to start every day from now forward. So there was a lot of emotion involved, but it was more of a okay, Lord, we've heard you. I'd like them to know that I'm all in, that this job is going to get everything I am and everything that I have. When I wake up in the morning, I combine my faith, my family, and my love for Pepperdine in all that I do all day long. And that's the kind of job that I would encourage Pepperdine students to be looking for. Look for something that allows you to marry your faith, your passions with what you do all day long, and that will lead to a very happy life, and that's where I'm at right now.
And obviously he's super happy about his position, but it's really going to be down to what he does in office that's going to decide whether or not he's effective at the role of president.
It's really exciting. This is going to be the first time Pepperdine is going to have a first family where the kids are actually at the school attending Pepperdine while he's president.
Yeah, and he already started his presidential duties. Last weekend, he was the MC at the law school dinner, and he was able to interview Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
That's really interesting because I know that he worked in D.C. before as well in his law career. So
it's really cool. Awesome. Thanks, John Michael.
Thank you guys so much.
Local schools are also under new leadership as the school district approves 3 new hires. Patrick Miller is Malibu High's new principal. Miller is currently the principal at Webster Elementary.
Melissa Andino is moving up from assistant principal to principal of Malibu Middle School, and Deanna Seinfeld is the district's new director of special education. These new positions are effective starting July 1st. Turning to weather after a summer-like weekend.
Yeah, I've seen a few sunburns around campus, but not from me. Kaylin's here to talk about maybe an upcoming cool down we can expect over the next few days.
It's been pretty hot, but it'll get really cold over the next few days. So let's turn it over to weather. It is currently 64 degrees in Malibu. Humidity is at 80%, and winds are traveling southwest at 12 miles per hour. In our surrounding areas, Calabasas is at 68 degrees, Agora Hills at 66 degrees, Thousand Oaks at 67 degrees, and Santa Monica is at 66 degrees. Today's fire threat is low and expected to remain low over the next few days. If you're expecting to surf today after class, you're in for fair conditions with waves of 2 to 3 feet, which are knee to waist high. Waves are expected to mellow out to 1 to 2 feet tomorrow. This week, we are expecting cooler temperatures with 20 to 40% of drizzle over these next few days. Clouds will come in tomorrow with a high of 64 and a low of 53, and carry over into Thursday with a high of 62 and a low of 52. Friday will have a high of 62 and a low of 53, and if you have any Friday plans, consider them reined in with showers expected to start in the afternoon that will continue into the night. And Saturday will be mostly cloudy with a high of 67 and a low of 54.
Thanks, Kaylin. In this segment, we've been talking about new beginnings. We were just talking about at the schools, but back here at Pepperdine, I'm joined by the newly elected Student Government of Association members, Meredith McCune, who's the new SGA president, and Chase Johnson, who's the new vice president of finance. Thanks so much for joining with me, guys.
Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you because it was just Wednesday when you got the results. How does it feel now that campaigning is over, and what was it like seeing your name in the list?
Well, it feels like we can take a breath, at least for me. But it was really exciting to see that our whole team got elected.
Yes, it was just really exciting, and it's nice that now I don't have to see my face everywhere whenever I walk to the caf, and that our whole team was elected. We're really excited.
Yeah,
for next
and the
year.
posters are still kind of up, so you can still see your face. But you're talking about the whole team. All 4 of you got the executive board positions. Yeah. What are some changes you guys want to get made?
One of the changes I'm going to be working on is just expanding the dining options at Pepperdine. That's been a really hot topic, and I know it would benefit every student here, so that would be one thing. And another thing is just working on the foundation of SGA and making sure that our Senate can really bond and have a great foundation to work together and achieve a lot next year.
And I know, Chase, a lot of your campaign, you were talking about having a flat rate of tuition. So when students come in their freshman year, they're paying the same tuition instead of paying the increased tuition. As someone on SGA, how can you make those changes? Are they possible?
Absolutely. So SGA's main function is to advocate for student concerns. And I think financial insecurity is a student concern for not only students at Pepperdine, but universities everywhere. With student loans increasing nationally, it's become a kind of a problem, and that trend is set by other colleges in America that continually increases your annual tuition rates, which makes little sense. So you commit to a college, then you get a tuition increase. What if you can't meet that? So we're going to compose a memorandum and work with the administration of the university, who's really receptive to this kind of change, and try to bring some action to our advocacy for this.
And so you guys are both talking about your big picture goals, but as newly elected members, what's going to be the very first change? You guys know that yet?
I would say my first change is definitely revamping the website and just allowing more transparency with SGA and the student body and administration, because we're going to be working together the whole entire year. And then we've talked a lot about diversity, and so really talking more with BSA, LSA, other groups of diversity on campus, and really pushing forward with the SGA Director of Diversity position that we want to make.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining with me, guys. Congratulations on your new
Thank you.
positions. We're super excited to see how you lead the 2019-2020 school year. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
More change for Pepperdine as the university announces their new leader of international programs, the woman set to further expand Pepperdine's global reach. And the end of an era. Star athletes are saying goodbye to Pep and saying hello to the pros. More on how Pepperdine sports teams are ending their spring seasons.
A new leader for Pepperdine's leading study abroad programs. Beth M. Locks is Pepperdine's new Executive Director of International Programs. Locks is replacing Charles Hall, who served as Dean of International Programs for 14 years. Locks has nearly 20 years of experience in the field of international education. She is currently the Director of Learning Abroad at the University of Utah. Time for sports. I'm joined with Jacob Resendez and Austin Hall. The spring sports season at Pepperdine is coming to a close, but not without opening new doors for some players and teams. Welcome. So with this new season of change and the new IP dean, are you guys excited about that? Are you guys going abroad?
Yeah, I'll be headed off to Buenos Aires next year. I'll be studying abroad there for 4 years. I'm looking forward to just immersing in the culture, speaking a lot of Spanish, and just getting lost there. So.
I'm not going abroad personally, but it's awesome to see that like the highest participation abroad program in the country is still going to be under good leadership.
You'll stay here covering sports.
Yes,
so
yes,
what do we have for today?
Well, today, Pepperdine men's volleyball will say goodbye to a stellar group of athletes. The Waves are number 4 in the nation and in first place in the MPSF division, largely in part because of the senior leadership on the team. Michael Wexter, Caleb Denmark, David Wyzorek, Clay Carr, Max Chamberlain, Nolan Sharp, and Kaveen Vaz are all in their final year of eligibility. Wexter, Denmark, Wyzorek, Chamberlain, and potentially Vaz will all be playing professionally next year. Be sure to catch these seniors' final 2 regular season home games this Thursday and Saturday.
Pepperdine baseball is well on their way to winning the West Coast Conference for the 2nd straight year. Through the first 24 games of the season, the Waves are a solid 14-10, a reverse of their 10-14 record through the halfway mark last season. The strength for the Waves this year is their pitching staff. Easton Lucas, along with Jonathan Pendergast and Cooper Chandler, lead a talented group that already has multiple victories on the season.
And the Pepperdine women's basketball team's historic season comes to a close. The Waves fell to the Wyoming Cowgirls, losing 61-60 in the 3rd round of the Women's National Invite Tournament. The team made history in their postseason run. It was the first time since 2011 the team qualified for a postseason tournament. The win against California Baptist in the first round marked the first postseason win in modern-day history for the Waves.
Well, Jacob and Austin, it's truly an end of an era. We sure are going to miss all the seniors athletes.
Yeah. Well, for Easton Lucas, the redshirt junior pitcher, we can still continue to watch him because this month he will be drafted pretty high by an MLB team.
Wow, that's exciting.
And Pepperdine men's volleyball continues to attract new talent and new faces, and I definitely know our underclassmen program will be up to the challenge of replacing the senior leadership on this year's team.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jacob and Austin. From solar bikes to new media degrees, the innovative ideas hoping to reshape Pepperdine. And Shakespeare in Malibu, Pepperdine's latest theatrical production, Can't Be Tamed. Live from the campus of Pepperdine University, we'll be right back.
Changing Pepperdine one innovative idea at a time. This year's Waves of Innovation winners include projects to add solar-powered bikes to campus, create a master degree program in media, entertainment, and sports business, and build a relaxation area for students. There were 6 finalists this year, with all proposals currently in the implementation phase. President Benton launched Waves of Innovation 5 years ago to give students and faculty a way to creatively improve the university. I'm excited to hear about this relaxation center.
That's what I'm interested in.
What does it mean? Nap areas, massages?
Massages.
Dogs? Therapy dogs, maybe? That's relaxing.
That is just getting me too excited. That would be an amazing idea, and I would love to see that actually come to life at Pepperdine.
Definitely. Where are some other things coming to life at Pepperdine?
An exciting thing for seniors specifically, the end of school year at Pepperdine is an exciting time for senior music and art majors. Senior music recitals begin March 30th in the Rate Recital Hall. Each student performs a 1-hour-long solo concert followed by a reception. The series lasts through April 14th. There are 6 instrumentalists and 4 vocalists graduating this year. All are planning to pursue a career in the music industry. In addition to music, Pepperdine art students will display their work at the Senior Art Exhibit beginning April 11th through April 27th in the Wiseman Museum, where seniors will display their most promising work. So an exciting time for seniors, especially, looking forward to graduation and kind of, putting their products out there.
Definitely, it's not just seniors.
Juniors.
This Thursday at the 2nd floor of the library, they too are having their own art exhibition with food. So that's something to bring you there.
Very enticing.
Yeah, and what else is this week?
Well, particularly exciting is with Pepperdine Theater. The doors will open tomorrow night for Pepperdine Theater's new performance, and will bring those wanting to see Shakespeare come to life. The play is not only for those looking for comedy, but it represents new beginnings with the addition of the role reversal for the genders. On April 3rd, Shakespeare's iconic play, The Taming of the Shrew, will come to life in Smothers Theater.
No mates for you unless you were a gentler wild.
The play is full of exciting scenarios and an unconventional twist, which gives the women the opportunity to take center stage.
A pair of stocks, you row!
I mean, just on one level, I wanted to see 12 women having fun and doing Shakespearean comedy, because usually, like I say, they're relegated to the small roles. They don't get a chance to be the clowns. They don't get a chance to be funny.
Director of the play, Scott Smith, said there were many things that inspired him to reverse the gender roles.
It's about what is it like to walk a mile in the other gender. Does it change our perspective, and does it allow us a chance to have a conversation with each other on a different level?
Taming of the Shrew is Pepperdine theater major Isabel Klein's 7th show, and a different role than she is used to playing, and a different play than Pepperdine is used to putting on.
It's new for Pepperdine to do something so, not crazy, but just something out of the box. We stick to classical shows, so doing this reverse gendered, I think, is big for the Pepperdine community.
I never drank wine in my life.
Smith is eager for the audience to see the new take on the classic story.
I would say come see this production, because it's not going to be like any Taming of the Shrew you usually see, because we can have a conversation about gender and still laugh, and this play wants you to laugh. But also, this production is going to want you to think as well.
Emily, I got to sit in on their dress rehearsal, and I just saw a little bit of it, but it looked so good, and the actors have worked so hard, and it's a really funny, really humorous play, and the gender of reversals is really interesting and a great way to get a conversation going, as the director put it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I have my tickets for Thursday, so it'll be really great.
Yes, tickets. The show goes from April 3rd to April 6th at 7:30 p.m. But on the last performance on the Sunday It is at 2 p.m. and tickets are $10, but $15 for everyone, $10 for students, only if they buy in the box office. And you can buy those tickets in the box office or online. So make sure to do that.
All right, thanks, Josie. With graduation just 24 days away, the class of 2019 is getting ready for post-college life. Scary. From a Fulbright scholar to a potential Miss USA winner, find out where some seniors are headed in their new beginnings after Pepperdine.
Okay, so we drive.
In honor of his last Seaver College graduation as the university president, Andrew K. Benton is this year's commencement speaker. Usually he's the one handing diplomas out.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be his first time as the official commencement speaker. Past speakers include Homeboy Industries founder Reverend Gregory Boyle and NBC Nightly News anchor Lester Holt. The class of 2019 graduation ceremony is Saturday, April 27th at 10:30 a.m. at Alumni Park. Once the semester is over, AKB will be taking a break from Pepperdine and moving back to Oklahoma. So all of us are graduating seniors. How do we feel about this selection?
Some people get Oprah.
That's true.
I think it'll be good though, because I mean we did come here with AKB and
that
we've
is true.
been with him the past 4 years.
I just feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out. Saving money on the hotel and flying someone out. But again, we still love AKB, so it'll be nice to hear his parting words for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, with only 13 days left of class, seniors are gearing up to start new beginnings beyond Pepperdine. Take a look at some of Pepperdine's most notable seniors from the class of 2019.
With spring comes graduation, and graduation sends seniors off and out into the real world. This school year in particular has been quite unsteady for Pepperdine seniors given the borderline shooting, Woolsey fire, and subsequent mudslides, but their future workforce landscape is promising.
The job market is looking solid.
According to the Pepperdine Career Center, seniors could use their experiences of overcoming unforeseen tragedies to their advantage when applying and interviewing for jobs.
The senior class has experience that no other senior class or, students in the past have experienced.
SGA President Austin Welch led the student body through these devastating events and has served as a student leader for the past 4 years in SGA.
I'm currently looking to getting a job out in Washington, D.C., either on the Hill with a member of Congress or hopefully with a think tank.
Another senior, Brianna Byler, looks forward to implementing change on a global scale.
Long term, I'm hoping to get into kind of international development and humanitarian aid.
Byler is one of nearly 2,000 U.S. students to receive a grant from the Fulbright program, one of the most prestigious international exchange programs in the world. Byler will move to South Korea after graduation to teach and help improve cultural relations.
I really want some more on-the-ground experience in an immersive environment, and so I felt like Fulbright was a good way to do that.
First-generation college student Raymond Mora says it's surreal being weeks away from graduating.
When I first got to Pepperdine, I was lost, confused. I felt like I didn't belong here, but now I'm leaving from here thinking this is where I belong and this is where I had to be.
Senior Kennedy Seifix hopes to make a deeply personal impact in people's lives.
Nobody thinks that being a funeral director is somebody's dream job, but I've wanted to do it since I was about 13 years old, and I think that it's really rewarding to be able to help people and walk with people through those final steps.
And some seniors are often running without a ceremony or diploma.
I will not be able to attend graduation or finals week because I will be competing at Miss USA.
Wicks will compete in Reno, Tahoe. From far-reaching change to runways, these notable seniors are leaving Pepperdine with big shoes to fill.
Yeah, so I think this new incoming class will be able to fill these shoes because actually, according to admissions, they are the most competitive class at Pepperdine to date. Their ACT average is 30. Their average unweighted GPA is 3.79. So a very impressive class that's coming to Pepperdine.
Yeah, and we'll get to meet them this Friday at Preview Week.
We will.
So
Do you think we'd still get in?
I would hope so. Hopefully. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel. Well, this is the very first time that NewsWaves 32 has ever come down on main campus and has done a completely live outside show. So if you look behind me, you can see all of our awesome fans who turned out to make some awesome posters.
We promised one of them a prize for coming out with the best poster. Let's take a look at who showed up.
And the winner is, and this time we're gonna have 3 winners. Can we have Harper, Sadie, and Kate come forward? They made 5, so hold them up high. Look at that, that's so beautiful. Kate, what do you like about NewsWaves 32?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you like watching everyone and see all the different kinds of stories?
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun making posters?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's your favorite color to make a poster with?
Orange.
Orange. That's one of our NewsWaves 32 colors, orange and blue. Well, awesome. Thank you for showing up and being so artistic and so creative and the best fans. Let's get one more cheer for NewsWaves 32 and our audience. Gift card, go get some. You're too young for caffeine. Don't drink that at a young age. Let's get some cake pops and some hot chocolate. All right, well, that will do it for us this evening. Thanks for tuning in to this special coverage of NewsWaves 32.
As Malibu and Pepperdine embark on a new chapter of change, NewsWaves will continue to cover our community's latest developments. Tune in next week for our last 2 shows of the semester. Have a great night.